He was stopped. His two companions in the automobile got out of the automobile and surrendered to the officers and raised their hands behind their head and did exactly as they were told. And to my knowledge, they were not beaten. Rodney King, on the other hand, refused. He would not comply with the officers' orders. Therefore, when they tried to take him into custody, he resisted. He was then beaten, and for a few moments, it was reasonable force. But when Rodney King was beaten to the ground and was unarmed and was rendered 56 blows with these clubs, these batons, in 80 seconds, that is excessive force. I don't care what he did. See, I fought in Vietnam. I'm going to tell you right now, folks, when I shot somebody and he fell to the ground, I didn't shoot him again, even if he was still alive. And I wouldn't have, unless he went for a weapon, or unless all of a sudden he became a very serious threat to me. Rodney King could not have been a threat to anyone. He was surrounded by officers. There were so many officers there that Rodney King could not have been a threat to anyone, could not have hurt anyone, could have been quickly overpowered without the use of any clubs whatsoever. But we're being propelled into a police state. You doubt it? Well, on the first night, the debut of this program, on May the 4th, I talked a little bit about that. I believe I talked a little bit about it last night, on May 5th. That program was taped April the 30th, I believe. But I want you to understand something. When you sit in front of your television on Friday and Saturday night and watch cops, top cops, lady cops, 911 cops, SWAT cops, detective cops, and all the other cops, grandma cops, and you sit there and watch them break down doors without identifying themselves, without a search warrant, without a court order, rip people's mattresses apart, tear their walls apart, throw all their clothes on the floor. And they do something that you don't see in that series. You know, they strip search people. You don't see that because they can't show it on television. But they do it. Now, if they don't find anything, folks, all they have to do is drop a little bag of white powder somewhere in that house. And now they own the house. They take it from you. You don't have it anymore. You'll never have it anymore. They can confiscate your bank account, your RV, your cabin, your property, land, every single thing that you own, your cars, your clothes, and your children. And except for your children, they can auction it all off within 24 hours. And there's not a thing that you can say or do about it. And they can do it without a court order, without a trial, and without even charging you with any crime. And it's happened to many people. And you sit there in front of your television sets and you cheer it on. Say, get them, get those scummy so-and-sos. I've watched it. I've seen it. I've been in living rooms where this has occurred. And the reason you do it is because you're watching it happen to blacks, minorities, poor white trash, what they call poor white trash down south, Puerto Ricans, Hispanics, and you say, get them. They're a threat to us, middle class. We've got to get the crime and drugs off the streets. That's your reasoning, and that's why you accept it. But most of you don't know anything about your country. You don't know what your country is. You don't understand that your country is the Constitution. And that when you allow these things to happen without protest, you are actually changing law. Because the common law, the basis of our legal foundation, says that if your rights are taken away and you do not protest or protect or claim your rights in a timely manner, then you no longer have those rights. They don't belong to you anymore. You see, the fourth article in Amendment to the Constitution, one of the original Bill of Rights, first 10 amendments, says that all of those things cannot be done. It says that you can't search anybody's person, papers, or property unless upon the issuance of a warrant signed by a judge based upon testimony which produces probable cause that you have committed a crime. And the warrant must name the exact place to be searched and the exact items to be seized. So everything that they're doing is against the Constitution of the United States of America, which is this country. See, the United States of America is the Constitution and the articles in amendment thereof. Tear up that document, throw it away. This country ceases to exist. You'll have no more rights, no more protection, no more nothing. And that's what this is all about. They're setting us up to take away everything from us. And all of you people who are falling into it are setting the stage to have it done. If you're black and you participated in the looting and the burning and the rioting, you played right into the hands of those who would oppress us. You have been very stupid. And if you're white and you participated in the looting and the fires and all of the other stuff, the rioting, you too were stupid. You played right into the hands of those who would oppress us. See, on television, I saw Hispanics, whites, blacks. I saw a mixture of every single ethnic group and race that exists in this country on the streets rioting. And if you were perceptive, you did too. I never saw a crowd of just blacks, or a crowd of just Hispanics, or a crowd of just whites. No, they were all mixed together, having a great time, taking advantage of the whole thing. And if I had my druthers, you'd all be in jail. Not just for looting and rioting. That didn't solve a darn thing. But for endangering the Constitution of this great nation. You see, I sympathize with you. I didn't like that verdict either. And you had a right to go out in the street and protest. You had a right to express your anger, and you should have. This whole nation would have been behind you if that's what you had have done. But you know what you really did? You scared the hell out of middle-class America. Scared them bad. They'll never forget the scenes that they saw on that television set. They will never forget it. And you're going to hear things like this.
Frightens so many people is the number of guns. You have the number of guns in Los Angeles at the moment in the hands of private citizens.
Yes. Well, if you put guns out there thinking that somehow they will be held only by law-abiding citizens, you're wrong. The thugs, the thieves, the hoodlums are going to get them, whether they have to steal them or whether they have to buy them. And you've got a lot of them in the city. And they're in the hands of young, irresponsible, irrational young people.
Do you get the drift? You see, this is going to be used as the excuse to take the second article in amendment in the Constitution away from the American people. It's going to be used further to strengthen the laws, strengthen the government's position on eliminating the Fourth Amendment. It's also going to be used to take away the writ of habeas corpus and probably a lot of other things, probably to eliminate the exclusionary rule so that they can find these guns and make sure that this kind of violence doesn't ever happen again. The image of that truck driver on the pavement being kicked and beaten and hit almost to the point of death just because he was there will never leave the minds of middle-class America. Never. And no matter what they felt when they first viewed the Rodney King beating on the videotape, no matter what they felt then,